which is 5. So we have negative 6 over 10. Can we still simplify this fraction? Yes, we can still simplify. So our h is equal to negative 3/5.
You can simplify it further into a decimal, which is really nice and sleek and smooth.
Sige. So we can simplify it also with a decimal. Or in decimal form, we have negative 0. What is 3/5? Decimal form, 0.6. We have 0.6 for decimal form. So this negative 0.6 or negative 3/5 is your x coordinate and also your axis of symmetry. That is our axis of symmetry. So to solve for the y coordinate of our quadratic function, substitute the given value of your h or your x in the quadratic function. Solve for k. K is equal to 5x squared plus 6 plus 1. Your x is negative 3/5 or negative 0.6. We're going to use the decimal since ayaw yun ng fraction. So 5 times the value of our h or x, which is negative 0.6 squared, plus 6 times negative 0.6 plus 1. So we have 5. Negative 0.6 squared is equal to what? 0.36 plus we have 0.6 times negative 6. We have negative 3.6 plus 1. So 5 times 0.36 we have 1.8 minus 3.6 plus 1, which is equal to negative 0.8. So that is our k. Since we are done solving for our k, the vertex of our quadratic function is negative 0.6 and negative 0.8. That is the vertex of our quadratic function. Yes po. Opposite sign of the vertex when the equation is written in a vertex form. That is the one you're going to get the opposite sign. For h. For h only. But the k, it's remain as the same sign with the function. Pero kapag nakasulat sa general form, no need to get the opposite sign. Okay?
Wait, which one are we getting the negative sign of? X or Y?
The x.
Did I surprise you? Boo. Okay.
You're only going to get the opposite sign of the vertex if the equation is written. For example, we have 5 f of x is equal to 5 times x minus 1 squared plus 2. Since this equation is written in vertex form, That is the time that you're going to get the opposite sign of your h or your x. Your h is your -1, and your k is your +2. This is your h, and this is your k in the vertex form. So to write the vertex of this equation, vertex is equal to 1 and +2. You get the opposite of your h. Okay? Kapag nakasulat lang sa vertex form, kukuha ng opposite. Okay? But if it's written in general form, you need to solve for the vertex using the formula -b/2a. Okay? So let's proceed in converting the general form of quadratic equation into vertex form. Rewriting quadratic function from standard to vertex. To write standard form into vertex form, we're going to use the completing the square. I hope you still remember completing the square. Hindi na?
Amnesia, short-term memory loss, long-term memory loss.
Okay, for example, we have this quadratic equation, x² plus 8x minus 84. We're going to solve or rewrite this equation using the completing the square. So transpose first your constant number to the other side of the equation. So you have x² plus 8x equals +84. After transposing your constant number, get the half of your variable x and then squared. Get the half of the coefficient of your variable x and then squared. That is the one that you're going to add both sides of your equation. Half of 8 is 4, squared of 4 is 16. So we're going to add both sides of the equation by 16.
Wait, what?
After
We
you
rewind those. We rewind those.
Rewind. After you get the half squared of your coefficient of your variable x, that is the one that you're going to add both sides of your equation. Since ang half of 8 is 4, 4 squared is 16. So we're going to add 16 both sides. So plus 16.
It'll always be add. It'll always be add.
Yes, it will always be add. After adding both sides of the equation, factor this side of your equation. What is the factor of your x² plus 8x plus 16? It's the factor. X plus 4 squared. That is the factor of our x² plus 8x plus 16 equals 84 plus 16, which is equal to 100. 100.
100. 100. The intonation like there's more, but it's only 100. Very misguiding, misconstrued.
Okay, after factoring your x squared plus 8x plus 16, transpose the 100 to the other side of the equation. So vertex form of x squared plus 8x minus 84 is x plus 4 squared minus 100. That is the vertex form of the equation x squared plus 8x minus 84. So since it's already written in vertex form, you can be able to write the vertex, which is negative 4 and negative 100, and the axis of symmetry, which is also negative 4. Okay, that's how we rewrite quadratic function from general to vertex form.
About
Let's have
vertex
another
to general.
example. Okay, how about vertex to general? Sige. Can I clear the screen? Okay na? Sige. For example, we're going to convert vertex to general. For example, the vertex form that we have is f of x equals to 2x plus 3 squared minus 9. For example, that is the vertex form that we have. So to solve or to transform this equation into general form, you need to perform or to expand this x plus 3 squared. So 2 times x plus 3 squared, that means you're going to multiply x plus 3 times x plus 3. That's the meaning of x plus 3 squared, which will be the product is x cubed and x squared plus 6x plus 9. That's the product of x plus 3 times x plus 3 using the FOIL method. Minus 9, use the distributive property. 2 times x squared is equal to 2x squared. 2 times 6x is equal to 12x. 2 times 9 is equal to 18 plus 9. Simplify the equation that we have. Combine similar terms. So 2x squared plus 12x plus 9. So this is the general form of the equation written in a vertex form. 2x squared plus 3 squared minus 9. So you have 2x squared. Yes po. Saan galing ang 18?
9
2
times
times
2,
9.
9 times 2 is 18,
2
pre.
times 9 is 18.
Also, teacher, what is the point of this foil in the top right? What was the point of doing that?
This one,
Yeah,
to
the one,
expand
yeah.
your x plus 3 squared using the FOIL method. So you will be having x squared plus 6x plus 9. Since x plus 3
Ah,
squared, using the FOIL method, I just write it here on the screen. Okay?
okay. Just wrote it there on that screen. She just wrote it there on that screen, you guys.
If you have a coefficient in the leading term is not 1, separate that coefficient. when solving or transforming from standard to vertex. So you have 3. Their common factor is -3. So you have -3 as their common factor, both with your first term, second term, and the last term in our quadratic function. So separate or put aside the common factor in solving or rewriting the quadratic function from standard to vertex. So common factor of our function is -3. So if we're going to remove the common factor in our quadratic function, the remaining will be x squared plus 2x plus 3. Since we remove the common factor in our quadratic function, after putting aside your quadratic function or the common factor of your quadratic function, you can now proceed in solving using the completing the square. So transpose +3 on the other side of the equation. So we have x squared plus 2x equals to -3. Get the half of the coefficient of the variable x. Half of 2 is 1. Squared of 1 is 1. So we're going to add both side by 1. Factor your x squared plus 2x plus 3. The factor is x plus 1 squared equals -2. So the vertex form of the quadratic function -3x squared minus 6x minus 9 is f of x equals your common factor, which is -3. You have x plus 1 squared transpose -2. So you have +2. So that is the vertex form of our quadratic function. If the coefficient is not 1 in your x squared term or the first term. Question in this example.
Sure.
Yes, Job.
How'd you get x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0?
Okay, how did we get x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0? We get it after getting or dividing all of this term by its common factor. Since your common factor is, we're going to divide all the terms that you have in the quadratic function. Their common factor is -3. That's their common factor. So -3 times, divide -3x squared is equal to x squared. Then -6x divided by 3 is equal to +2x. And -9 divided by 3 is +3. Okay, so that's how we get x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0. Okay na, for this example.
What if there's no common factor?
Okay, what if there's no common factor? We have here. Can I clear the screen for this example? For example, this one. We have 3x squared plus 4x minus 15. Wala tayong common factor. Right? So how are we going to write this quadratic function into vertex form? So if we have a quadratic function that doesn't have a common factor, set aside the coefficient of the first term, which is 3. So coefficient 3 the coefficient of our first term is 3. So set it aside. So you will be having x squared plus 4 third x minus 5. Where did we get the 4 third x? We divide all terms of our equation by the leading coefficient, which is 3. So kung walang common factor, divide all the terms by the coefficient, the leading coefficient of your quadratic function. So we have x squared plus 4 over 3x minus 5 equals to x. Equals to 0, I mean. So since we are done removing the coefficient of our first term, we can now perform the completing the square. So x squared plus 4 third x equals to positive 5. Get the half and squared of your 4 third.
First, let's convert the fraction into a decimal, which is a lot more sleeker because we divide the decimal and it's nice. We are not dividing a division.
Okay, let's use the decimal form of 4 thirds. What's the decimal form of 4 thirds? 1 point. What's the decimal form of 1/4 over 3? 1 point what? 1.3. So let's use 1.3 as the decimal form of our 4 over 3 since ayaw nyo ng fraction. So get the half of 1.3 and then squared. So we have 0.6 times 0.6 is equal to 0.36. So add both sides by 0.36. Factor of x squared minus 1.3x plus 0.36. Factor is x plus 0.6. Equals to 5.36. So the vertex form of our function is 3 times x plus 0.6 squared minus 5.36. That is the vertex form of our quadratic function. Question? Ano ang question?
How did it go from x squared plus 1.3x plus 0.36 to x plus 0.6 squared?
Okay, how did we get the x plus 0.6? You can get the factor of this equation based on the half of your second term. What's the half of 1.3? Half of 1.3 is 0.6. And that's a factor already of this equation. Since we just squared the half of your middle term. Because square root of 0.6 is equal to 0.36. That is the one that we add to the both sides. So when you're factoring this polynomial, factor of 0.36 is 0.6. 0.6 times 0.6 is equal to 0.36. Okay na? How it becomes 4 over
81.
4 over 9? Asan ang 4 over? It becomes 4, not 4 over 9. We use the fraction kasi with this one. We get the half, 4/3 half, half of 4/3. We have 4/3 divided by 1/2. 2 over 1.
That just looks so yucky.
Because in that example, the one that we use is fraction. Dito, ang ginawa natin is decimal. That's why we have 4 over 16 over 4 over 9, if I'm not mistaken, in your notes. Since we didn't change the fraction into decimal, we use the fraction form. Okay na, with converting from standard to vertex form of quadratic function.
Wait. This 1.3 divided by 2 is 0.6, and you got x plus 0.6 squared.
Yeah.
Is that for everything?
It depends on the given value that we have.
It depends on what.
That's correct. When you divide this 1.3 by 2, that is the 0.6, the factor that you will be having. Okay? And then when you square this half of your 1.3, that is the one that you're going to add both sides, which is the 0.36.
So for everything, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, teacher, what happened to 1.3?
So what happens is we go to the next slide. Just
What
kidding.
happened to the 1.3? To get the factor, to easily get the factor of this equation, you go back to the half of your middle term. Go back to this 1/3, the half of 1/3. Half of 1/3, 1/3 divided by 2 is 0.6. Okay? That is the factor of your equation. This one. Okay? And to know what are you going to add in the both sides, you square the half. So 0.6 times 0.6 is 0.36. Okay na? Okay.
Another general form to vertex form.
Another general form to vertex form. Sige, last example. From general to vertex form. For example, this one doesn't have a common factor. We have 2x squared plus 4x plus 15. So we need to divide all the terms by the leading coefficient, which is 2. So we will be having x squared plus 2x plus 15 over 2. Oh, let's change the fraction now into decimal.
7.5, 7.5. We'll take those very much.
7.5 equals to 0. So x squared plus 2x transpose, you will be having negative 7.5. Get the half of 2. Half of 2 is 1. Squared of 1, half of 2 is 1. Squared of 1 is still 1. So add both sides by 1. So the factor of this equation is x plus 1 squared based on the half of 2 equals negative 7.5 plus 1 is negative 6.5. So the vertex form of this equation is f of x 2 times x plus 1 squared plus 6.5. Okay, so that is the vertex form of our equation.
Where did this mystery 2 come from?
The 2
Sorry.
came from the leading number, the one that you divide to each term. You always put the leading coefficient in the vertex form after you solve using the completing the square. So you have 2 times x plus 1 squared plus 6.5 as the vertex form of our equation.
Wait, teacher, how'd you get x plus 1 squared?
How do we get x plus 1? We get the factor x plus 1 with the half of your middle term. Half of 2 is 1. That is the factor of your x squared plus 2x plus 1.
Will it always, like, what if there is a common factor? Will we also do that?
No, if you have a common factor, you will not do this one.
Have
You
another
separate
example.
the common factor.
Wait. Well, so, okay, can we have another example with a factor?
A common factor?
Yeah, with a common factor, a common factor.
Sige. Can I clear the screen for this one?
Yes.
Sige. For example, quadratic equation with a common factor. Example, we have 3x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals to 0. So for example, that is quadratic equation that we have. So looking at the quadratic function, it has a common factor. What is the common factor? 3. 3 common factor. Common factor is 3. So remove the common factor in
So
each
remove the
term.
hand from the webcam.
That's teacher Archie. I will tell teacher Archie.
Papa
Teacher
Giro,
Archie!
happy birthday!
It's
Happy birthday!
coming! So we have 3x squared plus 6x plus 9. Remove the common factor to each term of our quadratic function. We have x squared plus 2x plus 3. Okay? So we have x squared plus 2x plus 3, and the common factor is 3. So you have x squared plus 2x equals to negative 3. Get the half of 2, which is 1. Square root of 1 is 1, so add both sides by 1. So we will be having factor of x squared plus 2x plus 1 is x plus 1 squared equals to negative 2. So the vertex form of the equation is f of x, the common factor, 3 times x plus 1 squared plus 2.
For uh um that third thing, the third
Which one?
equation from the top, that x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals
Mm-hmm.
3x equals negative 3 plus 1. Do do we divide the middle term, the coefficient by 2 and square, or just divide by 2?
Divide by 2 and then square.
But if there is no factor, we just divide by 2.
No, you divide it by 2 and then square also.
Okay.
Completing the square.
It's so easy. Faster, we're gonna eat snacks already.
Okay, so since it's already time, we'll just continue.
Wala pa namang snacks si Gabi.
Narinig mo, Gabi? Did you
Mm,
hear Teacher Archie?
what did he say? What did he say?
Teacher Archie said that
It's your birthday. You didn't even bring food here.
Ah, ah,
Kidding.
the one. Yes, we're coming right now. We got the food. We got the packages.
okay, since it's already time, we're just going to continue our review tomorrow. So that will be all for today. Goodbye, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.